Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We are only a few people at the moment, so I will wait before introducing you the new document of ISF that you are all very eager to see. And in the meantime, I will ask actually my colleague Ira to share the link of the IP guide on the comment. Because only our members got it at the moment, but it's a public document, so it's better if you can all have access to it. There are still some people joining. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. Don't hesitate to post a little comment. I think you can do so, and I hope you all manage to join us through one of the stream we put in place. Not everybody has access to YouTube, so we put it also on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on other events. Hello, thank you for joining from Holland. Hello, thank you. Very nice to see you all to discuss about IP. I can see it's a topic that is of great interest to many of you. Thank you. Hello, hello from Turkey. Hello from Switzerland. Hello, thank you. So many of you are joining from LinkedIn. That's great. Thank you. Ira, can you actually post the link to the on the comments so everybody could access the IP guide? That would be great. Hello, everybody. Thank you. It's nice to see you all. So many people joining. Thank you. So actually, we are here today to launch finally a great ISF document that I hope will be of use to many of you, because it's not only for our members, it's for everybody. And it's available on the ISF website since 2-3 days now. And we wanted to do this chat, this live presentation of it, so you could really ask any question you have about it, any question you have about ISF work in terms of IP. You can see now on the screen, this is our new guide, a guide to intellectual property that we made. And why did we make it? It's because ISF has already a big document on intellectual property that some of you may have known. It's called the ISF View on IP, and it was produced in 2012. So this heavy document is 32 pages, and it's actually all the principles about IP related to plant that ISF believes in. And we thought it's not the best way for people which are not very familiar with IP to really understand what is IP and to talk about it in simple terms. That's why we have developed this IP guide. So sorry about it's a bit traditionally made. We haven't printed it yet, but I hope we will get some nice printout for the events we will make in the coming month, hopefully. So we have already this kind of guide for genetic resources, and I really encourage you to go check on our website the guide we made on genetic resources. First, we made it 2 years ago. And it was actually a great success, and our members were very happy to have this kind of tool really to discuss and to find talking points, because it's a complicated topic to talk about genetic resources, access and benefit sharing, and intellectual property is also a complicated topic, but you may have to talk sometimes about it. Maybe to your colleagues who are less involved in the topic, or even to some friends or your family, because IP is actually raising many questions. So you saw on the screen the guide, and I would like first of all to thank everybody who helped to develop it. That's not easy. Because it's a communication tool that we try to make as attractive as possible, but it's not easy to put it in simple terms, the complex story of intellectual property. So I would like really to thank you, all the committees of ISF who were involved, so from the IP committee, of course, to the Breeders Committee, and the Sustainable Agriculture Committee was also involved. Hello, Emmanuel, nice to see you here. And I would like to thank also our colleagues from UPOV. I know some of them are online with us. We have always a great collaboration with UPOV, and that's really something we try to do and to get their review, because it's important that we could find the right wording to discuss about that. So I hope you will find it useful, and now you can see the link that my colleague put actually on the thread. It's available really to everybody, and I encourage you to upload it. The next developments that we should have is translation. I know it's important for many of us. So I hope to get the translation in French and in Spanish very soon. Probably within a month. We are already working with the translator, so it should be on very soon, and I hope you can really find it also useful for you. And I encourage you to use it and to spread it, and to use it maybe as visuals or on your PowerPoints if you need to do something, a presentation, etc. Because we tried really to make it as visual as possible. And we will work on the Chinese translation as well, but I can't really give you a deadline at the moment, because it takes a bit more time. But hopefully the Chinese translation should also be available very soon. So that's what I wanted to say about the introduction, and I really encourage you to go have a look at it. I can already show you some visuals. We try to make it really attractive in terms of pictures, and the answers being clear and simple, and I hope you will find it useful. And we have decided to really try to get 5 questions out of this guide, so we could already discuss about them. And really, you can find the elements of the answer of these questions, and probably of many more questions you have, in the guide. So I would like to propose now that we're going on the first question that we have selected. Thank you, Ira. So the first question, why do we need IP, and what and who is it for? That's one very basic question everybody can have. As you may know, the essence of the work of plant breeders is to bring innovation to farmers, so they can grow plants which are better adapted to their ever-evolving conditions. And we know that nowadays the condition to grow plants is evolving more and more fast. So the creation of these new plant varieties need incentives. And that's the kind of message that we want to remind, and that we put in the guide to give you the right talking point, to talk why breeders need IP. They need it because they need an incentive to create. It takes around 5 to 7 years of research and development to propose a new variety on the market. And this needs really to be rewarded. So the investment needs to be rewarded. And the IP actually allows a fair return on investment, and it stimulates innovation. The good thing is that everybody can use IP, and it's not only related to plant. If you produce a book, if you produce a music, you can use IP, and this is actually the same for plant. It's not only for large seed companies using IP. Everybody can protect the work that he has been doing. So we made, for example, a nice little cycle of innovation on this guide to intellectual property. Ira, if you could put it on the screen. Voila, exactly. So this is to represent clearly, for example, why it's important to have IP. It's what we call the innovation cycle, and it's getting into a positive production of the creation of varieties, what it implies and what it leads to the society, the benefits, etc. Voilà, so that's the kind of talking points you can find in the guide to answer the first question, why do we need IP and what and who it is for? The second question now that we have gathered. Thank you, Ira. So the question, is it possible for farmers to cross their own local varieties with a protected variety through UPOV? Yes, absolutely. And that's really what makes UPOV a great IP tool because it balances protection with free access for any third party who wishes to breed further. And anybody can actually be a plant breeder. As I was saying just before, it's not only about big companies using IP. Any farmer creating a new variety can use UPOV, and they can as well protect their varieties, and they can cross with it. So that's why ISF is really into promoting the use of UPOV, which is providing what we call the plant variety protection. And you can find, of course, all these talking points in the guide. Third question now, Ira, please. We try to summarize which IP tools can breeders use, because we know very commonly there is UPOV and there is the patent system, but actually there are other tools that breeders can use to protect their varieties or to protect part of the plant or to protect the name of their variety. They have really a broad range of tools. And from the guide we developed on genetic resources, we knew that this kind of table is quite helpful. So we tried to do again a table which was quite descriptive and quite visual to explain, for example, what is plant breeders' right, the scope, the criteria to get it, and patents. So you can see that one of the tools is a trademark, for example. Trade secret is as well important. And contracts. Contracts are more general, of course. They can be used for almost everything, but it's also a way to protect your innovation. You can put in the contract the condition to use the variety, the condition for your employees to work on the varieties, etc. So there are many tools, and we try to put it in a visual way, like the protection period, the cost as well. It's important for a company to take the right decision in terms of cost. So we try to balance all that, and we hope that this kind of visual can be a good tool to really understand the different aspects of IP. Thank you. Fourth question, please, Ira. So that's a question which is very trendy. The International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture and UPOV Convention, how do they articulate together, and how does this impact farmers and farmers' rights? There are many debates at the moment, at the international level, and sometimes at the national level as well. And we try to bring some answers and some talking points that you may need as well at the international level, at the national level, or the regional level, when you are talking with your Ministry of Agriculture or your Ministry of Research, to explain that actually both conventions should work in a mutually supportive way. They are both working toward food security and food safety in a different way, but they are actually complementary. So UPOV is it provides an IP tool which guarantees incentives to innovate and to ensure seed choice for farmers. And actually, the international treaty promotes the conservation of plant genetic resources for food and agriculture, which are the basis of what breeders need to make new varieties. So both conventions should work mutually, and this is in the interest of farmers, which can then benefit from a wide range of varieties which can meet their needs. And I encourage you to have a look at the guide on genetic resources. Both guides are quite complementary, actually. So thank you, Era. The guide has been released in 2019 and is available in French, Spanish, and English, of course, and we are working on the Chinese translation again. So really both guides are complementary, the IP guide and the guide on genetic resources, to give you really the tools to understand better what is access and benefit sharing of genetic resources. We try to make it visually attractive again and to make it simple, how genetic resources are conserved, how they are shared, how the sharing obligations are met, etc. So I hope you can find that useful. Last question, Ira. That's a very important question, illegal seed practices. And we think about it when we think about IP, we think about infringements. Actually, illegal seed practices can take many different forms. It's not only about IP infringement, such as patent infringement or PVP infringement. It can take also the form of fraudulent labeling, regulatory offense to commercialize the seed, etc. So it can take different form. And ISF has created a dedicated working group to try to address these issues. And the message we would like to send, and we are sending all around the world and as many as possible, is that actually it's not about only hurting seed companies. No, it's also misleading farmers and putting their income at risk. Because if a farmer gets a bad seed at the beginning, it's his whole season which is really at stake, and his livelihood is at stake, and his family is at stake. And counterfeiting and illegal activities are often linked to other bigger crime activities, such as fraud evading, tax evasion, etc. So we are really trying to raise awareness on the difficulties that farmers and the society would face if these illegal seed practices continue too long. So ISF, as I said, has a dedicated working group to that, which is putting in place good practices. And for example, we are regulating the entrance to the Congress of ISF. When you want to be part of the Congress of ISF, when you want to come as a seed company there, you have to accept that you are going to conduct a good behavior regarding illegal seed practices. And another point, we are also collaborating with international organizations fighting crime, such as Interpol and Europol. We are conducting webinar and seminar really to try to raise awareness on this problem. And this is the last question we had prepared. I hope this gave you a bit of a flavor of what's in the guide, and there is much more, but we tried really to make it concise. It's not a very long guide. It's 20 pages, small pages, and you can find many more information on the benefits of UPOV, on focus, for example, on a difficult topic, which is EDV, the essentially derived varieties, which is a concept from UPOV. So I hope you can find really in this guide some good elements that you could reuse in your presentation, etc. So I would like to take some questions from the chat that I saw. The first question, I saw a question. Can farmers also apply for protection of their IP? Yes, absolutely. The IP is actually open to everybody. Anybody who has an invention, which is innovative, new, etc. So there are some different kind of criteria depending on the IP tool you want to apply for. Anybody can apply. So I really encourage you to have a look at the different criteria and how you should apply, also the scope, if it's a national scope that you wish, if it's a regional scope. Really, there are many questions to be asked, but everybody can apply for protection of its invention, whether it's a variety or anything. Then a good question, if a country is not a member of UPOV, what types of IP protection are available to plant breeders there? Yeah, as I said, not all, you cannot claim an IP right on all kind of in all kind of country, because the country has to provide the IP tool. If they don't, then you have to find another one. So what other tool do you have if maybe the country has put in, if the country is not a member of UPOV, maybe the country has put in place its own IP tool, maybe that's a possibility. Or, for example, there are other rights. You can protect it through, on the table, you can check through a contract, for example. You can very well define by a contract who is allowed to use your variety, who is not allowed to do it, under which conditions. So contractual obligations is already a good basis. And there are other ways, such as, of course, patenting as well. If a country is not a member of UPOV, maybe there is a patent scope that is possible in the country. Another question, does plant variety protection have an expiration date? Actually, yes. There is no endless IP. Every IP tool have a limit. Well, except, of course, if you talk about trade secret, maybe until your secret is revealed, then there is no end to it. But the most common IP tool we have, UPOV and patent, yes, there is a limit. It's not an forever protection, which is normal because that's the spirit. The spirit is to give the innovator an advantage for a certain limit of time. And after some moment, after some years, so it's usually 20 or 25 years, then the invention goes to the benefit of the whole society. And that's the spirit of IP, and that's why there is actually a time limit in the most common IP tool we have. I hope I answered these questions. Is there any other question that I missed before? No, I don't think I missed any other question. If you have a question on anything related to ISF activities in terms of IP, please feel free to ask. We have an IP committee which is working hard on defining ISF positions on various topics. What keeps us very busy at the moment is, for example, the review of the notion of essentially derived varieties. So that's something very specific to UPOV system, but that keeps us very busy. It's quite technical, but if there is any willingness for you to know more about it or to know about the work that we are doing at the ISF IP committee, I would be very happy to gather your comments a bit later by email or within our also social media chat that you can find. My colleagues from communication can send you, can forward it to me. Hello from India, thank you. We are also trying to work with countries. Of course, I can see many of you which are from India, from Turkey, and you know that we have some collaboration with your National Seed Association. There, for some of you, there are many associations in one country sometimes, but we are really trying to coordinate and to send the message at the national level. So if there is no other question, I will just thank you for really having been here, and I hope to see you all at the Congress, so which is virtual this year. So the virtual Congress will take place from 5 to 7 July. I hope the registration is for free, so you can find here on the chat. My colleague has just put the link to register. You will find some great panels about the seed industry, the future of the seed industry. And very important topics such as our involvement in the United Nations Food System Summit. That's very important, coming at the end of the year. You will find great panelists there, and I hope that you will really enjoy it. And that's the best way we can meet this year, virtually. But I hope you can find really good content for you. And it's also a good way to chat together. I can see that many people like to put comments in the chat, so thank you. Thank you, Arthur, who was there. And we will see you, for example, Arthur, in the virtual Congress, and many of the ISF committee members will be there as well. So that's a great opportunity really to discuss together. Don't forget to register. It's for free again. And I hope that's a great opportunity for everybody to engage with us. That's all I had to tell you for today. Don't hesitate if you have some questions, some suggestions about the guide. Now we have published the one on genetic resources, the one on intellectual property, and maybe there are some more guides to come if you find it useful, if you would like to improve anything. It's always good to have your feedback on the use you make of our guide. So I thank you, and I'll see you very soon in another episode of Channel World Seed. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, evening, or afternoon. Bye-bye.
Hello to everybody. I wish you a very warm welcome. Today is an important day for ISF, and I hope also for you, because we are opening the registration for our ISF Virtual Congress, which is from the 5th to the 7th of July. It's a unique opportunity to engage between you, but also you with us. Registration is open for free for everybody, ISF member or not member. Be part of the journey, our journey together to resilience, which starts with seed. And on top of this, we will be in a wonderful studio here and nearby. That means new opportunities of engagement, even more exciting to meet you in these times. Take care, see you soon, and don't forget to register.